okay, the industry right up to 1990, 2000 was doing something like $40 billion worldwide.
Mad.
The industry now is coming back. It's doing about $22 billion globally, worldwide at the moment. It's Britain is doing about nearly £6 billion in gross earning for the industry, and it's the third largest in the world. You know that Britain's.
This is music.
That's why it makes me laugh, actually, because when I see black artists here, if Britain is the third largest market, I want you to think about this. Think about it. What percentage of that are we getting? Ooh, hello.
Probably.
What percentage of this $26 billion or £6 billion are we? You know, when you convert £6 billion into US dollars, that's close to nearly $10 billion. Not too far from it.
Yeah, so you see much of that in our creative community, bro.
Sure. Affinity Xtra, be Xtra.
Hey guys, it's Roger Moore here on the Affinity Xtra, here to celebrate gospel music and black origin, and we're here right now talking about the historical elements of black music, and we're on the third part, I believe it's the final part, of the LA Reid and Babyface dynasty. You know what I'm saying? You know,
yes.
Last up, in part two. Part one, we looked at the historical element of where they all started. Part two, we touched a bit about the stats and all over hits that they've been doing. Who was weird, from Tony Braxton to Boys to Men. All the great hits that we had in my teenage years was Babyface all day long. That's absolutely crazy. But now, we're looking at LA Reid becoming the musical executive. What now? This is big man things now. Big man things, and we're not only becoming the showpieces on the stage. We're now becoming the people making the chess moves. Now,
the power brokers. Now,
that's what I'm saying. So the buzzword,
indeed.
man, the buzzword power brokering. But listen.
Power broken, yes.
Kevin, let's kick us off in this, man, because I'll just start preaching again, you know what I'm saying, and it comes to how we're going to move things forward. So start to do this, talk about the book that's been influenced your knowledge on this area as well. We go into that and let's go from there, bro. Right, go for it.
Now, we're going to concentrate more on LA Reid, because LA Reid, he stopped doing production in terms of they co-produce with each other. They stopped doing that, and then he sort of migrated, actually running LaFace Record the full time as an executive. During his status or time running LaFace Record, because both LA Reid and Babyface were the co-owners of it, right?
Okay, cool.
But by that time, Babyface is not really a executive man. He's into production. He likes production and working with artists and songwriting. But with LA Reid likes to develop the artist, what you call it A&R. You know, the whole package of the artist, their contract arrangements, right? Their songwriting arrangements, who does what when, right?
Yeah.
He's hands-on. He's a hands-on brother. So some of the artists that came through his time working was you had Tony Braxton, Usher, yes, TLC, right? These were some of the few artists that came through, and Pink. Matter of fact, Pink's one of Pink's albums sold over 10 million copies worldwide, you know.
And you know what? People do moan about Pink, you know, bro.
Under the leadership.
Under the leadership. That's crazy.
And matter of fact, LA Reid was one of the first black executives to actually run a major independent white label. Called Arista Records, which had the late Aretha Franklin on the label, the late Whitney Houston, which had Barry Manilow on the label. Yes, he was actually, all these artists, he was responsible for them, you know. Would you believe it? And by the time he finished his denture with that, the label did something between 300 to 400 million in gross earning per year. Hello. The phenomenal numbers. The numbers are actually incredible. Misunderstood. Remember, Misunderstood, which came out, which charted in November 2001. The album eventually sold more than 10 million copies. Pink was officially a superstar. He created Pink into a superstar.
Jeez.
Hello, bro.
And the joke is, bro.
I mean, you know.
But the thing is, bro, the biggest controversy thing with Pink, yeah, is that when she first came out, it's like you thought it was like it was. So you're saying to me that L.A. Reid was the reason why we had a artist, a non-black artist doing black music with pink hairstyle, and he was the puppet master for that maneuver.
Yes, he was the what do you call the power broker and the chess master. People hurt about that, you know, bro. People hurt about that, you know, because because she came with a brilliant album, but yet then she went back to rock. So you thinking, oh, this is typical white execs. This is what they do, but he really was L.A. Reid all the time. No, it was L.A. Reid. L.A. Reid was responsible for that. You know, and L.A. Remember during L.A. Reid's time, running LaFace record on Arista, there were several artists that did 10 million copies in the States alone, you know. TLC did 10 million copies. TLC did. You think about selling 10 million copies. Selling 1 million copies is one thing, but selling 10 million copies in continental United States, bro.
But I just want to put it out there, bro. This may be a bit of a side note. I wasn't a fan of Waterfall's track. It was smashing it. Everybody loved it, bro. Everybody loved the video.
Yeah,
Scrubs and so on. It's just cool. I just was not a real fan of TLC, but everybody see, because you had Salt and Pepper coming through at the time. But TLC.
Listen, brother, don't talk about Salt and Pepper now. Those three women.
This is what I'm saying. So it's just like, yo. So you had Salt and Pepper. That was more like gritty, like yeah. But then,
but they were hot, you know.
You know what I'm saying? And then you got TLC, which you know, but the funny thing is, yeah, because everyone it came out that TLC hardly made any money from their records or money and whatever that's, so everyone's moaning about who had all the money. Are we saying that L.A. Reid did a really good deal, and Babyface kind of like basically they're the ones who were basically smoking cigars?
Actually it was the problem with entertainment in particular is how the deals was constructed. Because remember, at the time, Arista Records under Clive Davis was the distributing label, distributing the one with BMG, the German entertainment conglomerate. So it's a big business here. You know, you got the different layers, in each one doing their particular. And the percentage depends on the percentage of how you can only get so much money out of $1 if you think about it.
Yeah.
So let's say that the group got about say 30 cents out per dollar with the deal. Depends on. Then you have Babyface and all the other people get their 30 cents, and it builds up, right? So that's how. And I remember Mr. Gamble saying that. He said, "This is how much is in a dollar. This is how much we can do with $1 in terms of inflation, etc., etc." And that's why it is actually spoken by many recording legends in terms of Jay-Z and Toomey and so on, that if an artist can actually produce their album independently and market independently, right, they get a better deal and cut because they get more money coming because they don't have to deal with the middle boy.
Yeah.
Okay, so it really depends on the sort of business model that you're using as a recording entity or creative entity. Is that right, Roderick? You know, it depends on what we're using. It's all to do with the model.
And this is when we need people protecting us when we go into these deals. And this is the beauty of today as well, is that they needed the middleman because you couldn't get to shops. You can't get to shops without distribution.
Yeah, because you can't sell. It's totally impossible to sell about 10 million copies on your own.
Someone's got to press it. Someone's got to press it.
You got to have a promotion machinery and a promotion department and the appropriate people behind you to do that. Seems totally impossible. You know, right? And when you think about under the leadership of L.A. Reid, Outkast sold 10 million copies too. So in actual fact, under his leadership, several artists sold 10 million copies under his executive direction.
So do you feel, bro, this is where it's important, you don't have to be, because like I said, the artists that you're saying, they were great artists, but they weren't like jaw-dropping Aretha Franklin, you know what I mean? The ones where you draw.
When you talk about Aretha Franklin, well, that's and
Michael Jackson, these guys are these guys are like just phenomenal. But what are you finding? Because we now have somebody in another level pulling the strings. Now you're finding artists that are great, not amazing, but just great. Yeah, you know what I mean? And now being able to be pushed a way that they've never been able to be able to push great art. You have to be so phenomenal and lucky at the same time to be in the past, guys, the James Browns and all these guys. You have to be some absolutely creative whiz kids. But what I found, there were so many artists that were not so much mediocre, that were great. Look at Donnell Jones and artists like that still, they brought out hits, but you never really hear much about them afterwards, and it's like you have so many new black artists that were coming out in that period there. It's like they were great, but not amazing, you know what I mean? It seems like L.A. Reid was able to now raise the promotion and being able to post people in higher places, which got them access to more sales.
Yeah, because okay, let's look at this. L.A. Reid was linking up with Jay-Z, American Gangster. The American Gangster album was under his portfolio, and that was a monster, right? You have College Dropout and all them was by Kanye West, was under his portfolio. So that means he was hanging around. He was responsible for some of the top hip-hop and rap artists in the industry at that time. Hello.
Yeah, man.
So he was. And then when you think about Confession by Usher, it sold in 2004. It sold 8 million copies in the US. 8 million copies. People need to understand. That before we had the financial meltdown in 2007.
Remember that?
Yes, you remember that. Yes, and that caused a bit of a rumpus.
JP Morgan.
The industry right up to 1990, 2000 was doing something like $40 billion worldwide. Man. The industry now is coming back. It's doing about $22 billion globally, worldwide at the moment. It's Britain is doing about nearly £6 billion in gross earning for the industry, and it's the third largest in the world. You know that Britain's. This is music. That's why it makes me laugh, actually, because when I see black artists here, if Britain is the third largest market, I want you to think about this. Think about it. What percentage of that are we getting? Ooh, hello.
Probably.
What percentage of this $26 billion or £6 billion are we You know, when you convert £6 billion into US dollars, that's close to nearly $10 billion. Not too far from it.
Yeah, so you see much of that in our creative community, bro.
So where is it going then? May I ask?
Not into our community.
Let's go back. That's just a question I've thrown out.
Cool. We love it. Go back into that anyway before we went out of time, bro. Go.
Sort of debate situation.
Yeah.
Now, as I said before, when we look at how the fascinating thing about L.A. Reid, why it became so effective as a power broker, is what he learned from Clarence Avant, the Godfather, Black Godfather, and what he learned from Quincy Jones, and what he learned from Gamble Enough, and what he learned from Mr. Griffin of Solar Records. So he watched these men, and that's why he said he owes his success to Mr. Griffin of Solar Records.
Okay.
This is the same label that Whispers came out with As the Beat Goes On, and Shalimar with Second Time Around. Yes. And remember The Night to Remember? The night to remember. Right? That was the West Coast sound. And this is where the LA and Reid developed their craft. Watching these guys in production. They come and you got to remember that LA Reid and Babyface are live performers. So these brothers can perform, because LA Reid is a drummer and a percussionist, right? So he is a musician. So he understands how to create sound. And Mr. Babyface is both a singer and a keyboardist, and he plays the guitar. This brother is serious with his guitar, You remember the tracks in The Cool in You? The Cool in You. Now listen. Oh, The Cool in You, for instance, during those days with Babyface middling it sold 3 million copies, bro.
Jeez. And the thing is, these game-changing moments, man. Let's come on. Let's come down now. Let's come down and LA. Come on, bro. Just give us some more information. I know you got the book there. Do shouts out about the book that you've been looking into. Now, the book,
I recommend this book because what it does, it tells you a lot about the industry and the power brokers behind it. Right? It talks about the Kanye West and his rise to fame. You talk about Jay-Z's power broking, and one thing with these guys, part of their deal making, they like to smoke cigar. These brothers, part of their posing, there's an inner works. There's an inner work operation that they operate on. Yes. Operate on special flow, and so they deal and remember, they all cover each other's back. They talk about when they're coming in with the best black, they're coming with the best corporate lawyers to actually negotiate the deal. Nothing is left to gestation. Nothing's left to let's try it. We're coming in and we're going to do it now, and we're going to do it right. Hey, Justin Bieber came out of the LA Reid situation. He was contracted to introduced by Usher, and then build him into a star. Okay. Hello. So that's to show you how much the different artists that were involved with L.A. Reid. A lot of white artists came famous through L.A. Reid. Are you hearing me, bro?
He was just doing big business, man, and it's interesting. He's
a serious businessman. He looks at numbers. This brother looks at numbers. That's what he concentrates on.
Now I see why.
Remember, he was the executive for Epic Records. He was involved in Def Jam and Arista. So that means for about good 10-15 years, LA was involved in some of the biggest selling artists in the world.
Come on now. That's important, bro. That's important.
And remember, I'm just doing a summary. Because if I was start to talk about him, if I start to talk about those two guys, we'd probably have to do a 10-part series.
Yeah.
I mean, if we were to go into details, with these brethren.
And the guys, and I think the guys, we just need to recognize that this is it's important to understand that, you know, about that there need to be execs, there needs to be power brokers, and the thing is, guys, it's not just about black people coming through, but we want to be impartial and basically bring through music from a perspective of be good in your craft. It's not just, you know, when they come through. Kanye West was no mug. It wasn't just a case of bringing through artists that were just mugs and just embarrassing.
No, he was a producer already.
So he was.
Remember, he was a producer already.
So he knew what
Kanye West was trying to think. He had learning the craft, watching Jay-Z and those guys. And matter of fact, L.A. Reid and Jay-Z was responsible for Rihanna. Right. The teacher, they taught her the whole capacity to become a fashion icon, a business. You know, this baby is worth about a couple of billions right now. Look,
yeah, man.
Do you realize by the time she reaches our age and my age, she'd be worth probably about 20 billion. By the time, because if you think about the royalties and what she does, it's crazy. And the corporate endorsements. This is off the back of L.A. Reid.
Wow.
So you got to understand.
Made giants, man.
This brother is made, and not only that, he recreated Mariah Carey's career as well. He was responsible for Mariah Carey. We then bring her back into the mainstream again with hit making runs.
That's why she's still going doing that. Yeah.
I mean, the numbers of L.A. Reid is beyond. It's phenomenal. It's absolutely phenomenal.
That's
the
crazy,
amount
bro.
of white and black artists. Jennifer Lopez has been involved with him. I mean, he's what?
Next level, bro. This brother was a serious deal broker. He understand how to make deals. He could find the hits out of nowhere. He could find it. Yeah, man. I got you.
He knew it.
I got you, brother.
Yes. I don't need to say anymore. Do I need to say anymore?
Nah, man. You good, brother. You good, man.
So let's summarize it. L.A. Reid. L.A. Reid started humble beginnings, right? Playing the drums, you know, and tapping and doing percussions. His mum was involved with his career. Single parents coming through, right? And move and develop. Started to do live work, and somehow him and Babyface linked because they like his vocals, right? And then one thing led, and the strength of his vocals and the strength of what they did, Griffin signed them to Solar Records, and then only to discover that these brothers could write, these brothers could produce. Let me mentor them and develop their skill, and the rest is history.
Wow.
So. Humble beginnings, bro. These guys come from humble beginnings. They didn't come from. Hey, remember, they didn't come from. They weren't born in LA or New York. These are mid-states, you know, Indiana and so forth.
Wow.
You understand what I'm saying? They're not from actually here. You know, like for instance, you and I were born in the major cities. No. Not in the entertainment capitals, New York and LA, you know. Yeah, I understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, 100%, brother.
No.
Wow.
And so, in actual fact, as I was saying again, these two brothers are responsible for some serious earning globally and for the careers of Usher, Tony Braxton, Pink, Outkast, Kanye West, and do I need to go on?
No,
guys, not particularly. No.
And I have to salute L.A. Reid, man. L.A. Reid, I'll salute you, bro, man.
The story,
and
remember, we're dealing about a summary. Summary.
Right, guys, this is definitely a summary video. This is we do three emotional videos, which is about stats, information, vibes, and whatever. If you want to get into details, there is greater details, and hopefully, time to come, Kevin will be doing more detailed things like this, even in courses and stuff. So, guys, you know, we just here putting this information out there, and if you want more about it, do hit up Kevin Tomlin, a Signature Sound. Do check that out. His links in the description to his books, his information out there and whatsoever. But we just here to trigger you into seeing successful black people. I think we focus so much on the brokenness and the downness of black people. We're here to celebrate successful black people. We do focus on the negativity of music and the messages it brings across. But we have to look at the business elements of the successful sounds of what we've done in this community. I'm frustrated that we do come across as the only people that do crime, the only people that sing about the negativity of relationships and multiple relationships. I are very annoyed with that. But this is when we need to be power brokers to say stop to that. We want to make pop music. We want to make popular music that's there for people, and that's hence why Black Eyed Peas can go out there and do tracks that are amazing. That's why Pharrell can do Happy and do amazing tracks, which is just about
a monster track. That is a classical track. That's a classical.
Sorry, I triggered Kevin when I said that. I said Pharrell. That's the one we're gonna look into because
Pharrell. Remember Pharrell came out the Neptune production.
This is what
another black. Listen, bro.
Listen, and it's just the Khalif, man. You know what I'm saying? This is
another. Hey, when we talk about productions.
Yeah, man.
Productions.
Pharrell.
And what they did. You know, you have another one called The Underdog, another major record production.
Come on, we'll be exposing what these guys have been doing in our journey of breaking down black music. So we got plenty of time to come.
Numbers.
And we haven't looked at old wise. We haven't touched James Brown. We haven't touched we have Marvin Gaye. We haven't. There's so many guys. We haven't even touched Barry White. We haven't touched.
Jeez. And then you talk about the Norma. We haven't touched the Norma Whitfield Productions, according to the Temptations and Rolls Royce. Look, bruv, look.
We done things, people. We have done things, and we're here to celebrate it. We're here to look at the engine.
If you ever touch the Holland Dozers and Hollands to do with the Supremes and the Four Tops, brother, we'll be here till tomorrow.
I'm sinking, people. I'm sinking.
Look.
So guys, if you want us to focus on something particularly quick, do just shout us out, man. We just going on a journey and we just picking out things and we focus on it. So we might go retro though, because I need to look into James Brown. I think we need to James Brown. You know what I'm saying?
Brother, James Brown, that is another.
Unless you have to go dark before. That's a big. That's too big.
We have to reverence ourselves, get some respect. And then we start to dig into this brother.
Okay.
A different kettle of fish.
That might be God's Sparing Life 2022. So we look because we have to dig. Yeah, that's a bit too tough for us right now to hit that straight away. But listen,
we have
guys,
to research him now. It's serious.
Cool. All right, well, Kevin, that's your job, man. But listen, guys, thanks again for listening. Do listen to the station, and like I said, guys, we're here to celebrate success of black people within the entertainment industry, and the importance it has to aspire us to do greater things within the gospel music industry in the UK gospel, Myself and Kevin, who are part of the GMIA, we just want to salute everybody out there still, and there can be some more content
Peace
coming from, All right, man. God bless you all.
Move forward with creative power. Amen.
Blessings, man. Amen, brother.
Blessings. Yes.
Hey, this is your bishop from Rock Solid. Thank you so much for watching us on YouTube. Thank you so much for clicking and subscribing and also sending these videos to other people as well. We are so hungry to get your support. So remember, check us out on our website, and also check us out on Insta and wherever you want to find us on Spotify. You can play us all day as well. And just make sure that you are supporting this channel, that we are developing our agenda towards music of black origin, and that is gospel music with a message. So please walk with us on this journey. Bye now.